A week from tonight, Americans will be digesting their Thanksgiving dinners, and the next morning, they'll head to the malls on the busiest shopping day of the year, Black Friday. It's the day when retailers traditionally realize a profit or get into the black for the year, but more importantly for most people, it signals the start of the holiday shopping season. On this episode of Money and Markets, we'll tell you why the next month is so important for the retail industry and why the retail industry is so important to the health of the overall economy. Professor William Strong of Florida Atlantic University will join us in just a moment for that. Then Amber Dakar and Nilus Mattive will give us their outlook for the upcoming season. Which retailers will see the biggest gains and which will find their stores empty? Plus, Rudy Martin and Andre Julian tell us how investors see the industry, and Jen Amos gives us specific stock recommendations in our Picks and Pans segment. All that and a closing comment from Martin Weiss coming up right now.
From our studios in Jupiter, Florida, Weiss Money Network presents Money and Markets. And now, Jamie Holmes.
Hello, everyone. As we head into the holiday shopping season, it is vital to understand just how important this period is to the retail industry and the economy as a whole. And here to help us do that is Dr. William Strong, Professor Emeritus of Economics at Florida Atlantic University. Dr. Strong, thank you so much for coming on the program.
You're very welcome.
Dr. Strong, let's talk about how vital consumer spending is going to be to the overall health of the U.S. economy. What do you see?
Well, it's very, very important. Most retailers make most of their profits during the holiday season, and this will be particularly true this year. And they need to recover a little bit from the tough experience they've had for a couple of years.
How important is this year? How important is it that the retailers in particular have a really strong holiday season?
Well, it's important to them, and of course it's important also to the health of the general economy. Because the consumer has been very cautious and has been saving at a fairly high rate. And so that means not only is there a low level of income in the economy, but the consumer isn't spending as much of it as he was previously.
Well, if they do go out and spend their money, there's a lot of price cutting going on right now. Of course, that's going to edge away the profitability of any retailer. What are we seeing price cuts versus profitability versus even the sales that they're expecting to see this year?
Well, I don't know exactly what they're expecting to see. I expect to see about 5 or 6% growth in sales over last year, which is fairly good growth, but from a low level. But there will be some price discounting going on in order to achieve that, and so the profitability will not grow as much.
So we're in the valley, so to speak. I mean, from where we were, say, 3-4 years ago.
Well, I think we're climbing up the rock face, but we're closer to the bottom of the valley than we are to the top of the rock.
Okay, what's your outlook going forward here? What will next holiday season look like in comparison to this year?
Well, I think that finally the economy is getting on track. We had decent job growth in the most recent month. We're seeing increases in sales, and the actual recession ended, about 18 months ago. So. I think that we have a fairly good outlook, but it's going to take a long time to get back to where we were.
Still, consumers, their confidence remains low. So many of them are hesitant to be able to part with any dollars that are in their wallet and pocketbook. What incentives are going to be out there to encourage them to do just that? And is there going to be this wild spending spree, for instance, that we would have seen in years past, even with those Black Friday holiday offers?
I don't think there will be a wild spending spree. I mean, the consumer remains cautious. I think the best description of today's economy is that it's a cautious economy, and the consumer is right in the forefront of that, but so also are the employers in terms of jobs and the banks in terms of lending.
Okay. Dr. William Strong of Florida Atlantic University, thanks so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
For a closer look at the retail sector, let's bring in Amber Dakar. She is the supervisor of the research department at Weiss Research and the author of The Busy Person's Guide to Personal Finance. And joining us on Skype from his home in Chadds Ford, Pennsylvania is Nilus Mattive, the editor of Dividend Superstars. Nilus, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Jamie.
And Amber, thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Amber, what is your sense of where consumers are going to be headed this holiday season?
Well, in this holiday season, the consumer is in the driver's seat. They're facing very poor economic conditions. We're looking at an unemployment rate of 9.6%, instability in the housing market. So those who are able to spend will spend, but those who are not, which is the majority, will hold the power of the purse, and it will be constrained.
Okay, Nilus, what's your take? Where are consumers going to be this shopping season?
Well, I agree with Amber. I mean, I think that they're going to be cautious, but I also believe that retailers are up to the challenge of getting people back out shopping again. I'd note that companies like Walmart have been very aggressive already with not only their pricing, but opening their stores very early in the season, and also online stuff, free shipping, and other incentives to get people off the fence. So I think it's going to be a pretty good holiday season overall.
Amber, how do you see the season playing out for the retail sector overall?
Overall, they're going to be focusing on 3 Ps in the marketing mix. We're looking at intense price wars amongst the retailers. We're looking at competitive positioning, as well as we're looking at aggressive promotions. Lots of advertising will be seen throughout the stratosphere of when we talk about media, trying to lure the consumer back in the store, because right now they're hesitant. They're on the sidelines, just waiting to see what's the best sale coming, because it can get better as time goes by.
So which individual retailers are going to be in the best position to really reap some rewards and some profits this holiday season?
Well, I'm looking at the luxury goods stores, actually. The retailers who sell high-priced items are positioned well, because those consumers who did fare far better in this economic downturn were able to retain their jobs, pay down some debt over the last 2 years or so. So they're able to spend. So the retailers such as Nordstrom and Coach is actually increasing their inventory by 36% leading into the holiday season, in anticipation of people who have the funds to spend will spend them there.
Okay, Nilus, same question to you. Which individual retailers do you think are really going to see some big growth this particular holiday season?
Yeah, I like the companies that are in the sweet spot, sort of the Walmarts and the Targets of the world, because not only are they aggressively pricing things like toys, which are obviously very popular, categories during the holidays, but I think they also stand to benefit from all the ancillary spending, the stuff, seasonal goods, decorations, food for parties, and so I think they're really in the sweet spot. I'd also note that a lot of online companies like Amazon.com, I think, are going to continue to benefit very handsomely as consumers continue to use the web for a lot more of their shopping.
Okay, Amber, of course, the flip side of that, who's going to perform poorly?
Those who are catering to the middle class. We're talking about individuals who are making maybe $50,000 a year or less for a family of 4. There's not the discretionary spending available to them to spend. So stores like Nilus mentioned, Walmart doing the free online shipping, they're trying to bring these people in, but it's going to be just a little bit more difficult for them versus the luxury retailers.
And Nilus, who do you think is going to be haunted by this holiday season?
Well, I mean, I think that everybody, a rising tide lifts all boats in the sense that people will be out spending this quarter. But for me, if I had to avoid a certain group, it would be the very, very deep discount stores, the Family Dollars, 99-cent only kind of stores. I don't think that they really have the merchandising assortment that is popular during the holidays. And so, I really think that those guys are probably going to be the least likely to benefit from a big holiday season.
Okay. Thank you, Nilus.
Thank you, Jamie.
And Amber, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome, Jamie.
Coming up next, we're going to get more picks and pans among the retailers. That's coming from Jen Amos. And later, emerging market specialist Rudy Martin and money manager Andre Julian give us their views on the industry. As always, if you have questions or comments, please email us at weissmoneynetwork@weissinc.com. We may not be able to respond to all of your emails or address them on air, but we're keeping everything on hand for future episodes, and we appreciate the feedback. Money and Markets will be back in just a moment.